What a difference in tone that is.
Sound check.
Well, g'day there. Welcome back to another vocal analysis here at Voice Essentials. My name is Dr. Dan. Once again, we are going to be having a listen to the marvellous Floor Jansen, Queen Floor, sing. But for the first time, we're going to also hear someone she's doing a duet with, Maria Fiselier. Oh, Maria, I hope I got your name even close to correct. Apologies if I did not. Maria is a classical singer, a mezzo-soprano. I think you'll hear that when we start to hear her. She's trained at the Royal Conservatory. We're reviewing this. This is a very classical piece. So this piece that we're listening to is Because We Believe. It's the Andrea Bocelli piece that was, I believe it was performed, written for the 2006 Winter Olympics, which is interesting because right now I'm watching the 2026 Winter Olympics. And I love the Winter Olympics. Love the Winter Olympics. So that's kind of cool. And we are going to be listening to this because many of you, I think many of you who watch my other Floor Jansen reviews said, hey, go and check out Floor do this piece. And I think because it is rather classical in its nature, though Floor takes a crossover sort of position with this one and does sing some classical lines, but we also hear her do some very classic contemporary stuff as well. Let's dive in. Let's have a listen to this. This is my understanding, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, my understanding is this was done for a benefit performance for Kika, which I believe is a children's cancer charity. And this is being done as a closing sort of final vocal performance in this thing called Best Zangers. I think we've reviewed a couple of these performances before from Best Zangers. Anyway, here we go.
Guarda fuori è già mattina. Questo è un giorno che ricorderai. Alzati in fretta e vai. C'è chi crede in te, non ti arrendere. Once in every life there comes a time. Walk out all alone and into the light. The moment won't last, but then we remember it again when we close our eyes.
Beautiful singing. Beautiful singing. And don't we, get to see Floor in such a different setting, applying a different persona, if you will. Whenever we see Floor in her usual, symphonic metal setting, we so often are seeing her as almost like the Viking queen, going the warrior on stage. And yet here we have this lovely soft presence that is so beautifully sharing the stage with Maria. And yet we still I still hear the distinction of her contemporary tone coming through. It's beautiful. For now, let's just continue to and really just appreciate the phrasing, the communication of the intent. Remember, this is a tune that is supposed to communicate endurance and communal support in that endurance. Remember, this is the support of a children's cancer charity, and so we don't want to lose the importance of that that the singers themselves are bringing to the plate. Let's continue.
Like stars across the sky, e per vincere tu dovrai vincere. To shine, all of us here because we believe.
I think the response there from the audience is just the enjoyment of the way the two voices have locked in their harmonic work, in the harmony, because it was pretty, wasn't it? I won't go back because there's further opportunity to hear them do that, but it was beautiful, and the way they are reading each other and blending with each other, not just, in their harmonic blend, but in their presence, which then only further enhances the harmonic blend, is just, it's so professional. Like it's exceptional. Exceptional singing.
Guardi avanti, non voltarti mai, accarezza cuori suoni tu.
Two things. Firstly, I want to recognize Maria's mic technique. Now, I don't know Maria and her career outside of this performance, and that my research tells me she's a classical singer. But I do want to highlight her mic technique is exceptional. Often in classical singers, they're very rarely holding microphones. They're more often, if they are singing to a mic, it's often on a stand, and so they'll stand in front of that. And in many respects, the sound engineer does all the rest. But in this case, Maria's mic technique is bang on. The second thing that I wanted to highlight as I was watching there, and we'll take it back so you can watch. Floor's, the use of Floor's vocal track shaping, her lips, the shaping of her sound is, well, it's in keeping with everything I have come to expect of Floor over the last period of time, because she is just on the money the entire way. Have a watch of her mouth shape. But take note of Maria's mic technique, but also watch Floor's mouth and the way she shapes and uses her lips so beautifully.
Voltarti mai, accarezza cuori suoni tu, le tue speranze poi verso il giorno che verrà, centro like stars across the sky.
What a difference in tone that is, right? I was thinking just then as she was singing the very classical line, and is it Italian that we're listening to? It sounds very Italian. And thinking to the way she's forming, I think in many respects, Floor is the soprano in this lineup. We've got Maria the mezzo, and Floor is taking those high lines of the soprano line. And yet we still hear in Floor's voice a lower, in fact, let's come over to just here. Let's have a listen to this. And because we still hear a very, very distinct lower body in the vocal fold, like there's still a massive fold that gives us more of a mezzo sound in this. Let's see if I can find the right place to pick this up. So you can see this line here sitting above. That's Floor's line. Look at how stronger that fundamental is than the soprano. The mezzo below, which is what we're hearing Maria sing. And so we've got this. I wonder whether a person who is not actually, typically a contemporary vocal doing things like symphonic metal, whether a different soprano, you would hear a lighter, not so much body in the vocal fold. Let it play along, because I then want to observe the difference we hear when she goes into what I think is her wheelhouse, if you will, tonally, in the next section.
Like stars.
Let me take it back so that we get the lead in.
Like stars.
So notice how she then goes into what is a rather strong. Well, it could be argued that it's belt, because look what we've got here. These second fundamentals are so much stronger than where she was back just a little bit further. So this is her fundamental here, yeah, which would mean this is her second harmonic. But see how it's not as strong. And so she's definitely making a tonal switch between that moment in Duet with Maria into the next section where she's soloing more as a contemporary tone, and we get that strength, that change.
Like stars across the sky. E per vincere.
Notice how, and then she actually we get a little bit of dirtiness through here. She kind of plays her cards as the symphonic metal singer that she generally is.
E per vincere. Tu dovrai.
Yeah, and we see this disturbance through the area. Great singing. Let's have a look at the difference in the vibrato between our two singers.
Questo è un giorno che ricorderai.
So let's just take that section. This is right back at the beginning. But if we take that section, what have we got? A 5.1, but with a 75-cent movement.
On there comes a time.
And so let's have a look at so we're down to a 64-cent So that's quite a difference between the two ladies' vibratos when we're looking at the beginning of the vocals there. Let's just, for our own interest's sake, let's bring it down. I want to have a look at what that last note was. Oh, what a shame! The pitch, the separation doesn't give it to us. So it's a C sharp 6, right up. A C sharp 6, D flat 6. Lovely end note. Thank you for the recommendation for those of you who put it out there for us to have a listen to that. We got to listen to two fabulous singers come together for what, we know is such an important cause, the, kids charity cancer, kids cancer charity. And so we don't forget that. And the fact that these ladies probably almost certainly have given of their time and talents to that cause. But from a learn to sing point of view, I think there was quite a few things that we could observe there. And not least of which was the manner in which they worked with each other in such a beautiful manner, which I really enjoyed watching. I hope you've enjoyed watching. I hope you've learned something you can take away. And I very much look forward to seeing you in the next vocal analysis video. I'm Dr. Dan. Sing well.